A tree that shouldn't be there thrives in a little orchard in upstate New York. 40 different fruits on one trunk. Throughout the summer, peaches, plums, apricots, nectarines, and cherries all ripen on the same branches. Genetic modification is not what this is. This old grafting method was methodically eliminated from American farming. The USDA deemed 15,000 heritage fruit types outdated between 1,900 and 1,950. Grafting instruction was discontinued by Extension Services. To create space for consistent, patented crops that could endure a 1,500-mile truck voyage, old orchards were demolished. However, one man chose to retaliate. Sam Van Aken, a lecturer and artist, discovered that a 150-year-old heritage orchard was going to be demolished in 2008. In addition to purchasing the land, he spent years learning a long-lost skill. His 40 fruit trees are now growing all over the nation. Every single one of them is a living middle finger to a business that wants you to rely on their seeds. This is the tale of how America lost 17,000 apple varieties over the course of 50 years, and how a small group of rebels are reintroducing them, one graft at a time. Sam Van Aken was not a farmer at first. He created installations and sculptures while teaching RT at Syracuse University. However, something changed when he went to that dying heritage orchard. He strolled by rows of trees that had provided food for families since before the Civil War. Trees like Westfield, Russet, Roxbury, and Black Oxford don't look anywhere else. Varieties that yielded flavors unmatched by contemporary apples, withstood harsh winters, and fended off illnesses. The proprietor was going to retire. Developers had purchased the site. Bulldozers would destroy 150 years of agricultural tradition in 6 months to make way for condominiums. Everyone around Van Aken thought his choice was crazy. The entire orchard was purchased by him. He didn't have any official horticulture training. He had absolutely no experience managing a farm. However, he was aware that he had to keep that information alive. Van Aken developed an obsession for the following 4 years. He studied old grafting instructions in the winter and observed the blooming and fruiting of each type in the summer. He recorded every detail, including when each type sprang to life, which trees were compatible, and how to orient the living tissue. He made hundreds of mistakes. Branches rejected one another and grafts perished. Trees just given up. However, he gradually deciphered the code. This is the process of grafting. Van Aken uses a single rootstock, typically plum or peach, as the base for each tree. He surgically affixes stems from 40 distinct heirloom kinds to this foundation. The cambium layer, where living cells from 2 distinct trees combine to form a single creature, is the key. However, Van Aken does not choose 40 varieties at random. They are choreographed by him. Every variety is selected based on when it fruits and blooms. Apricots that bloom early in March are found on some branches. Some carry late-season plums, which don't ripen until October. The end product is a tree that functions like a biological symphony throughout the year. It took him 5 years to finish his first fruit-bearing tree. He carefully inserted each branch music as he observed if the tree would accept or reject the graft. Van Aken stood in his orchard when it eventually blossomed in the spring and saw 40 different types burst into a cascade of pink, white, and crimson blossoms at slightly various times. It appeared to be from a fairy tale. The outcomes are astounding. These trees can live for 50 years or longer and start bearing fruit in 3 to 5 years. From July to October, the harvest is spaced out. You won't be submerged in peaches for a week. For 4 months in a row, you have been consuming fresh fruit. Modern retail fruit cannot compare to the nutritious power of the ancestral kinds. Lab tests reveal twice as much vitamin C and up to 30% more antioxidants. Every grafted type contributes a unique immune system. The tree of 40 fruit employs genetic diversity to maintain its health, requiring 40% less water and no chemical fertilizers, whereas a commercial orchard can be destroyed by a single disease. Up to 300 pounds of a variety of fruit can be produced each year by a single tree with 40 fruits. Without making a single trip to the food store, that is sufficient to feed a family of 4 during the growing season. Every year, a single tree that may have cost $500 to plant might yield thousands of dollars worth of organic produce. This is what makes it genuinely groundbreaking. In environments that would ruin commercial orchards, these trees not only survive but flourish. The tree has genetic robustness that monoculture purposefully bred out because each variation evolved over ages in various climes. The tree is sustained by music deep-rooted variants during drought. 39 branches continue to produce even when one is affected by illness. The technology was suppressed for just this reason. A tree that is 200 years old cannot be patented, and a tree that doesn't use corporate seeds or pesticides to feed a family for 50 years. An agricultural system built on reliance is directly threatened by that. Consider the demands of contemporary agriculture. Every year, you purchase patented seeds. Chemical fertilizers are what you buy. Pesticides that destroy pollinators are sprayed. Because the kinds are bred for shipment rather than survival, you must irrigate continuously. After all that work and expense, you can only harvest one kind of fruit for 2 weeks before it goes bad. All of that is rendered obsolete by the tree of 40 fruits. The business concept of industrial agriculture is completely rejected. Grafting is not a recent development. More than 3,000 years ago, Chinese gardens had multi-fruit trees. A modern supermarket would be ashamed of the diversity of Roman orchards in 77 CE. The Cherokee were skilled at grafting pimmon trees, which provided winter food for large villages. This abundance used to exist in America. The United States produced more than 17,000 different types of apples, between 1,800 and 1,900. Trees were specially designed for the particular climate in each area. Farmers in Oregon and Virginia cultivated several kinds of apples, each well suited to the local climate and soil. Competitions for the best local variety were held in towns. Grafting methods were passed down through the years by families. Standardization followed. The USDA deemed 15,000 heritage cultivars outdated between 1,905 and 1,950. Technology was not the antagonist. It had to do with economics. Fruit that could withstand a 1,500-mile refrigerated truck voyage was required by the industry. The Red Delicious was not selected based on its nutritional value or flavor. It was selected since it appeared flawless in pictures and did not bruise readily. Grafting instruction was discontinued by extension services. Old orchards were destroyed by bulldozers. There were just 2,000 apple varieties left in the nation by 1990. In less than a century, 15,000 varieties vanished. It wasn't an accident that the knowledge was forgotten. In order to guarantee that all citizens would be reliant on a centralized food system that sold patented seeds, it was purposefully eliminated. This erasure has far-reaching effects. Water use has doubled and soil erosion has increased by 40% as a result of monoculture. Because single-crop orchards only bloom for 2 weeks, pollinators are starved for the remainder of the year, which has resulted in a 70% reduction. The food supply has become quite precarious. Due to the lack of genetic variation, a single illness can eradicate an entire commercial variety. This has happened several times. The Gromel banana was eradicated in the 1950s due to Panama disease. The Cavendish banana, which is currently the only kind that most people have ever tasted, is in danger. Because we rely solely on one kind, a single fungus has the potential to eradicate bananas from international markets. Vanin spent years perfecting the grafting method, figuring out which types might be blended together and when the flowers would have the most visual impact. His trees are artistic creations in addition to being useful. The branches burst into a tapestry of pink, white, and red flowers in the spring. They produce a revolving crop of fruits, music, in the summer and fall that have been absent from American tables for almost a century. Fruit from these trees is described as a revelation, by those who taste it. These aren't the dull, watery fruits from the grocery store that are developed for look and longevity. These apricots are so sweet they have a honey-like flavor. As you consume them, the varied flavors of the plums change. Instead of tasting like hazily sweet water, cherries really taste like cherries. The movement is growing nowadays. In Virginia, New York, Maine, and other parts of the nation, trees bearing 40 fruits are flourishing. They have been commissioned as living art projects by museums. They are used by universities to educate agricultural methods that have been forgotten, by resurrecting historic cultivars that have supported their communities for thousands of years. Indigenous populations are recovering their own history. The music approaches that were purposefully hidden for generations are being taught in little nurseries. Heirloom varieties are now again available at farmers markets. In order to create food forests that anybody may harvest from, communities are planting heritage orchards in public areas. Every tree that Van Aken grows is an act of rebellion and a live reminder that you can feed yourself without the use of proprietary varieties, corporate seeds, or chemical fertilizers. The information was never really lost. All it needed was someone with the courage to rediscover music and the kindness to spread it. There is more to the tree of 40 fruits than merely a plant. It is a legacy of resiliency and a roadmap for a time when food will be plentiful, varied, free, and full of music. It demonstrates once more that additional technology or patents are not the answer to our food dilemma. It is recalling things that we have purposefully forgotten. The tree of erased abundance illustrates what grafting reclaims and what control took. Look for music heirloom seeds if this vault moved you. Some were buried, some lost. Now like and subscribe.